A couple of days ago, I was having a meal with my friends. All of us are already working adults, so naturally, the topics that we are talking about mostly surrounded things like, when are you going to get married? When do you plan to have kids? Have you guys gotten a house? So, inevitably, one of my friends asked me, made any plans to get a house already? To his question, I'll answer it in the most Singaporean way. No fate leh, government don't want to give me my house. To give some context and explanation to my international viewers on what that sentence meant, we basically have to bid for a chance to purchase houses in Singapore due to land constraints. The advantages to purchasing such houses are mainly due to its affordability. Whether it's truly affordable or not, you guys can debate down below in the comment section. It can range anywhere from 300,000 to 700,000 Singapore dollars or even more, depending on how high up you want to stay. The downside to such houses are on its build time. We are basically bidding for a reservation spot to buy the house, and once the bidding is over, you'll take anywhere from 3 to 6 years to be built finished. Going back to the story, my friend said, why not just buy a resale or condo? Well, resale houses, which are houses put up for sale by previous owners, typically cost upwards of $600,000, while condos are usually $1 million and upwards. In response to his question, I answered it like any other typical Singaporean. Where I got money? Here's the thing, everyone wants money, but the reason of chasing money slowly starts to transition a lot more towards needing as opposed to wanting money as we grow older. We have ambitions to start a family, have kids, live in a nice house. It essentially becomes the main driving force for many men. When I said to my friend that I don't have money, I can't help but feel that I failed as a man. This thought stems from the expectation that man has to be the provider. I'm obviously not trying to dispute that fact, and I agree 100% that us men have to shoulder a bulk of these responsibilities. It's just that these responsibilities can seem huge for anyone who has just started working, one who has only been focusing on studying like any other Singaporean for majority of their lives. Along with the expectations of my partner, her family, my family, and others, that I sometimes wonder, how are other men dealing with it? Well, I actually already have the answer. You just suck it up, be a man, and find a solution. The whole idea of being a man has an increasing level of importance and needed emphasis as we grow older. When we are still in school, being a man form is used mostly in the dating scene. You have to exhibit qualities of a masculine, sporty, confident man in order to be popular in school and attract your crush. Truth to be told, I personally think that that's where it mostly ends. There are certain unique cases where family or environment circumstances require you to spread the be a man mindset to more areas, like taking care of your siblings as your parents are no longer around, things like that. But mostly, you're still able to get away with it if you're not so much of a man when you are much younger. At most, you just suck a lot in the dating scene and be alone forever. At least you still have your parents to take care of you. Not saying that dating isn't important, it's just the tip of the iceberg. In the dating scene, being a man is the biggest and most important thing that ensures your success. No one wants to date a feminine man. That's just the reality. There are traits in a masculine man that women tend to seek for, such as confidence and decision making. The idea behind that is because women like to be led. It's safe to say that most females in Singapore, or rather anywhere else in the world actually, enjoy holding the hand of their man, following him, and just enjoy the journey of wherever her man brings her. If you're not able to do that, something that many females deem as a minimum, you'll find yourself in a situation where your only best friend is your right hand. Throughout my schooling days, this was something that many, and I mean many of my guy friends are facing. In fact, this was what I used to face too. The idea of being a man didn't really sit in our heads until reality starts throwing itself at you. Being a man isn't as simple as not being allowed to cry, or being loud and obnoxious. In essence, it's really all about having the ability to handle a shit ton of responsibilities thrown at you and still be able to move on forward as if nothing happened. Even if something did happen, you can't show it because you're basically a wall that's protecting your loved ones. If you crumble, they are going to crumble too. That resistance is what women look for. Probably due to the comfortability of living in a modern and safe society like Singapore, being constantly coddled by our mothers, that many men are able to get away in life by not embracing their inner masculine traits. As a result, many, and I mean many men, failed in the dating scene in school. Sure, there are a couple of guy friends that you know they are in a relationship in school, and that's because out of everyone, they possess more of these masculine traits that most guys don't. Sure, they are noisy in class, makes fun of others, possibly a bully, but he's able to get the girls because he possesses this one key masculine trait, confidence. Without this trait, you're always sitting at the back of the classroom alone, or constantly sticking close to your own clique of unconfident guy friends. And many guys wonder why their crush don't like them. You can't expect your crush to walk up to you and ask you out if you're always hiding at a corner behind your group of friends. You, as a man, have to take that first step and approach her. I'm sure there are some guys out there complaining why the girls can't approach the guys first. It's the 21st century, blah blah blah. But realize this, that's exactly what's going to make you stand out. In the kind of world that we live in right now, where many people think that way, if you're able to make that first move, you're already ahead of many others. If you're a student and you are able to master this one trait that's key to any aspect of your life, I promise you that you don't need to be as good looking as you thought you need need to pull in girls. I'm sure you know of a good looking friend that for some reason was never able to get a girl. Looks is a good to have, but it's honestly not everything. As you grow older, let's say you are in university, about to graduate, or just graduated, this idea of being a man has an exponential increase in importance. If you have yet to get yourself a girlfriend, many would say that university is kind of your last chance to get one before you join the workforce and mingle with women twice your age. I mean, if that's your thing, I guess you can wait a little more. Not saying that girls are dumb for liking shitty bullies back in secondary school. I would say even for guys, they can blindly like a girl with shitty personality as long as they look like Megan Fox. But in university, expectations of girls in terms of what they look for in a guy gets much more than a typical high schooler. The guy must look like Jungkook from BTS, be at least 6 feet, 6 inches, have 6 houses, smarter than Einstein. Okay, I'm kidding, but you get my point. A guy should at least exhibit qualities that she thinks she'll have a comfortable future with you. Girls in Singapore are pretty reasonable. You don't have to be rich yet, but you must exhibit qualities that show that you can be one in the future. You have to be good at your studies, or even if you're not, you must have an ambition on what you want to achieve. However, at this stage, possibly with the academic-driven environment of Singapore since every man's early ages, that many guys wasn't able to find that purpose that can drive them to greater heights. All along, we have all been focusing on our studies, that we weren't given time to think about what we truly want. At the same time, all of us know that we have a ton of responsibilities starting to stack up. Look for a girlfriend, get a good GPA, look for a good paying job. Looking for a good paying job is not as simple as wanting to live a comfortable life, but also to have the means to take care of your parents and save up for your future with your future wife. At this point, the responsibilities are still kind of on you, in the sense that it hasn't materialized yet since you are still studying, or you're expected of them soon enough. Now, you're in your mid-20s and just started working. You found yourself a girlfriend, congrats. If you haven't, and that's one of the things that you want, that's another thing on your plate. If you want to be single, that's one less thing to worry about. But let's say you have a girlfriend and have plans to get married, get a house and have kids. You find yourself suddenly hit by truck kun that's carrying what I would call balls of responsibilities. Each of these balls of responsibilities requires you to grab yourself by the balls and man up even more. With that said, everyone is counting on you, my man. Yes, your family, your girlfriend's family, her cousins, her long distance cousins, her neighbor, her neighbor's dog. Everyone is counting on you, yes, you, to ensure that your own family and your girlfriend/future's wife life are in good financial hands. Sure, you can argue that you can split the burden with your girlfriend or wife, that you guys can always go 50-50. In all honesty, I don't think there's such a thing as 50-50. All these responsibilities, you as a man have to take up the bulk of it. And that goes the same for the problem that it comes along with. Men are built to take on these kind of hardships. If you are going to shirk that responsibility onto the women, then you might as well date another guy and go for the real 50-50. I'm not trying to glorify being a man. Women don't have it any easier either. You can share that burden, but don't overburden them. Women will provide their fair share, and that's taking care of you and the upbringing of your kids. In such cases, similarly, there's no 50-50. She's probably going to be doing 90% of the job, while we are doing the occasional diaper cleaning. Each have their own roles to play, which they are naturally good at. That brings me to the title of this video, on the kind of struggles that modern day men are facing, especially in Singapore's context. Being a man is not easy, and as you grow older, there is an urgent need to become a man, if you have yet to become one. To some, you may think that you are, but you don't truly know what it means to be one until more people start counting on you. But here's the thing, once you do experience that urgent need and you are keen to change, that's when your whole perspective on life starts to change. You'll not only be able to find that confidence to do things that you never thought you'll be able to, but you'll also start to truly understand what your dad had to go through to bring you up. He may or may not have brought you up the way you wanted, or you may or may not have experienced the kind of life that you wanted. But this is when you realize after being a man that you can change things, that you can change how your kids will be brought up. That drive for change is what you get once you truly become a man.